We always knew, Quillan Salkilld, congratulations on a year. 2025, 3 UFC fights, 2 performance of the night bonuses as well, all the pay-per-view events as well. Probably in contendership for Rookie of the Year. I mean, what a year you are having.
Yeah, stoked. Big year for me. Big year for my gym, and yeah, I'm just proud I get to go out there and represent Australia, represent Perth, and show them how we do it here.
It's interesting because you told us that when you were Eternal MMA lightweight champion, we had a chat in March 2024. You said, I am going to get there. I'm going to be the next Aussie boy to make some noise in the UFC. You told us before this fight at UFC 321 against Nasrat Hasparat that you were going to do something special. I think you delivered that.
Yeah, of course. I always back myself, and I've got a really good team that backs me and gives me a lot of confidence. No matter who I go against, and no matter how short of notice, I have full confidence in my training, my team, and myself.
Certainly do. I'm looking down at the moon boot at the moment because you actually broke your foot with that vicious head kick. So how's the recovery going?
She'll be right. I got it scanned, so I don't know how bad the damage is, but the way it feels I feel like I fractured something after I kicked in.
It's interesting because again we're all of us here in Perth are watching it in the middle of the night, and it must have been a really strange feeling for you because you're on top of the world celebrating obviously a highlight reel KO, but you're looking down after a few minutes. Nasrat's still down on the ground. It was a bit of a mixture of concern and elation. It must have been a really strange feeling at the time.
Yeah, to begin with, it was a bit surreal. I couldn't really believe that that happened in the moment. But yeah, after a few minutes, after things started to settle down and see he was still obviously on the floor. Yeah, it did get a bit concerning for a bit, but I trust all the UFC doctors were there and had his team there, so I was confident that he was going to be all right.
No, fantastic. And again, you're following in the footsteps of Perth's own Jack Della Maddalena, Stephen Herseg, next fighter from Perth, obviously Cody Haddon. I want to talk to you about Cody for a second because you did earn very well there at $50,000 performance of the night bonus. There was no question after that happened. But you're going to spend a little bit on that on going back to the States and supporting your teammate in Cody Haddon, who's taking on a very tough opponent.
Of course, I'm going to,
Talk to us about obviously your team as well, because I think I've watched the highlight of your KO several times. What I like doing is watching the reactions. And also, especially with your team, I saw Ramel Lewistro. Again, I love his reactions, especially after you or any of your teammates win. So, talk about the support that you've got that's been there throughout for you from the Lewistro Combat Academy.
Yeah, my team is like family. Everyone's been there since day one. I know I'll stress them out. Stress them out a lot. Obviously, taking these big opportunities, and I'm just very happy that I get to make them happy, make them proud.
You certainly did that. Perth is obviously very proud of you as well. So again, we were sort of disappointed that you weren't on the Perth card, but after seeing that, I was actually happy you weren't on the Perth card. To witness that what you did on another massive stage was the best.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise. Now after it's happened, obviously I was disappointed at the time, but after what just happened, I'm kind of grateful that I didn't get to fight on that and fight on the card last weekend instead.
And with that statement win, because you and your team, I was speaking to Jason Frank, it's like, is Quillan going to be on the Perth card? Because I really wanted to see that. As I said, I'm glad I did it now because I would have preferred what you did in overseas recently. But again, it was a struggle to find fights for you, but after that statement, I don't think you're going to have any trouble finding fights. So is the next step is your sort of sights set on a UFC card in Australia. There's obviously whispers of the UFC coming back to Australia, I think Sydney in February 2026.
Of course, I imagine that my foot's going to be, back to normal within a month, and then I got, 2 more months to prepare and for the rumoured card in February in Sydney. So I'm 100% looking to get on that for the next one.
And I heard that, again, as this was around, that maybe Renato Moicano, I mean, that would be a good challenge for you as well?
That would 100% be good, but, you know, I doubt that he'd come here, you know, to fight me. So anyone that the UFC offers, I'm going to say yes 100%.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem at now. I think that fighters are avoiding you for very good reason, but we knew all along. The great thing about you, Quillan, is that, again, you're still the same Quillan Salkilld, rocking the mo here at Domination MMA, supporting all your teammates, supporting all the local fighters. So never change, you never will. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up for Perth's own UFC fighter, Quillan Salkilld. Still rocking the mo.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime, brother.